it's Anissa here, and today I wanted to talk about something that I feel is really important. So, I wanted to talk about core energy. It's something that I'm very curious about, and if you know me, I love to look at not just the surface of something, but actually go really deep and understand, the origin, the source of where something comes from. So, I often see things pop up, and to me, it's like having a core disease, but having it manifest in different ways. And it's like, having an immune disorder, but then we have a sinus infection and we treat the sinus infection, but then, we have an eye infection and then we treat the eye infection. And then, we have like a cut and then that gets infected and then we go and treat that infected cut. But it's not until we actually take a deeper look and understand, well, there's actually, a disease with the immunity here, and that's what's causing these outer or surface issues. So it's kind of like how I see things that happen around us. We have so many events right now that are popping up in the world, and to me, I love to look at the core energy of where these things come from. Like, why are they still happening? And we have the racism issue, which I know it's been going on for a long time, and I grew up in a country where apartheid and inequality actually made us famous. It sounds so bad, but I grew up in South Africa, and when I tell people I'm from South Africa, the first thing I think about is, Nelson Mandela, apartheid, racism, slavery, and it's kind of what we were known for. So when it comes to understanding, what that feels like, I can say that yes, people that come from South Africa and myself, my parents, my family, yes, we can understand that feeling. And to come, to 2020 and see that we're still having these issues come up, to me, it's like I have to understand where they come from. And when I look at the core energy, the frequency of where that comes from, it stems from our our judgment. It stems from our inability to accept and to love and to forgive as well. So when we keep that feeling of inequality alive, we're also giving attention back to it. We're keeping this environment alive. And we've gone through a time where we were taught, and when I say we, I'm just talking about us as human beings, not us right now. We as human beings, we've gone through a time where we were taught to fear things that were different. And I can't honestly say that I understand, all the reasons why we were taught that, but I know that in this generation, we're going through such a massive change. We're going through, we have people who are still alive now that were alive when interracial marriage was illegal. Imagine that, like interracial marriage was illegal. I mean, I had an interracial marriage. My children are mixed races, and I have so many friends, and I know so many people that have interracial relationships. It's not even called an interracial relationship. It's just a relationship. It's just love. Like, we don't call it those things anymore. We don't draw attention to it anymore because we don't need to. It's not something that deserves a special attention. It just is. But I am very aware that, we're living in a time where we have people that still carry and have that attitude and belief, and I'm absolutely not blaming them or shaming them. I'm saying that, I love to understand where they came from because they were taught to be afraid of differences for a certain reason. And perhaps the generations before them were taught to fear differences. And maybe it's not even coming from a place of fear. Maybe it was coming from a place of love, to love and protect themselves and their identity because, for whatever reason, they may have been wired to protect and carry on like their special thing. And sometimes, we are coming from a place of love, or we think we are coming from a place of love. However, we are applying that in ways that, we're not seeing how they affect the bigger picture or the whole. And it's a dilemma that we can all get caught in. It's not just looking at this specific example, but that dilemma of thinking I'm doing something out of love, but it actually ends up, not being great for another person, is something that we've all been through. We can all empathize and be compassionate about that. And I know it's a touchy subject because I can just imagine and hear and feel, some of the comments that can come out about that, like, do you think that's okay? And what do you support that? And by no means do I ever support anything that hurts another human being. I don't. But I also feel that living in a space where we are bringing that hurt alive is also hurting us. So our attention is where our energy goes. And the thing that baffles me is that, we're sitting here in 2020, we're the next generation. The next generation is not being born or coming. We are this generation, and we are setting the tone for the next generation. So if we think about how racism and inequality and all these other problems in our society began, they began because the attitudes, the beliefs, the actions, the words of the people who created them was so strong that they created a generation of inequality. So where do we misunderstand our power right now? Where are we not seeing that we are the generation that can bring in change, that we are here to bring in that change? If only we are able to commit and dedicate our energy to the change that we want to see. And there's a really great quote that I love, and it talks about focusing our energy not on breaking down the old, but on building the new, because it's a very different energy. It's about keeping the past alive versus forgiving, understanding, and having compassion for the past, and focusing your energy and your love on building the new, because we don't live in the past anymore. We don't. And the way we are acting right now is going to affect generations 70, 100, 200 years into the future. And so I wanted to bring that up because I love to look at the core of where we come from, our core energy. And sometimes you might think, we're doing or saying things out of love. However, it can end up hurting people. And I just wanted to share that, and I hope that it sparked some kind of thoughts, and I'd love to hear what you think as well. So wishing you well. I hope you're safe wherever you're watching this video from today, and take care. Bye.